Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 57 of Chance Ball, and this one is titled Final Rounds. I swear to God, we'd better not be up against him, Dabi said lowly. Who? What? Oikawa. What? Is he here? Yeah, and he's with someone too. Oh, hell. They better not be the pair we're up against, Dabi said. We could totally beat them, you snorted. What are you worried about? Dabi didn't reply. Instead pursed his lips together and scowled as Oikawa and his partner walked through the crowds towards you. Come on, he said after a few seconds. Let's go. We've got another match soon. Round after round, you and Dabi slowly made your way up the ladder of success, until finally you only had 2 more teams to beat and you'd be standing on the winner's podium. We're almost there, Dabi, you said, stopping yourself from saying baby. Nice save, G, Dabi teased, nudging you with his elbow. Shut up. We've only got a few more to go and then we can get out of here, he said. This binder is so hot. You know what else is hot? Dabi leered. Don't even start, Dabi. Any further comments from you are going to be hella gay because I'm a dude. I'm manifesting my dudism. Look at me. I am dude, you said, holding your arms out, palms up, then gently wafting the universe's positivity towards you. Oh, hey, I still got to peg you. The hell? Dabi asked with surprise when you changed subjects so quickly. Yeah. No. Yeah. Do I have to? Yeah, well, I'm not going to forcefully take you, so it has to be consensual, you said. I'm a cool dude. Can you stop saying dude? Would you prefer I dab instead? You wiggled your drawn-on, bushier eyebrows at him. Friggin' don't. I will. I'll do it, you threatened, shaking out your limbs in preparation for the dab. Swear to God, G, I'm going to cut you off, he warned. Next teams, report to the centre court, a voice called loudly over the intercom, interrupting a potentially physical altercation between you and Dabi. That's us, you said brightly, turning and walking away without dabbing. Dabi snorted with amusement and then followed you through the crowds to the court that you would both be playing at, stopping to eye off the team on the other side. If we beat these frick sticks, then we're in the finals. I wonder if Oikawa is on the final team yet to play, Dabi thought. He didn't have much more time to contemplate because just then you were called forwards to start the match, and after shaking the other team's hand under the net, you were underway. This team was a little bit harder to beat, and it was clear that they had played many times together. They were very in sync and they had you running all over the court, but no matter how hard they pushed you, you were still able to keep up. Dabi could see that they were targeting you, so he kept your morale up with plenty of positive comments, jumping in to help where he could, and finally, amazingly, you won, dropping to your knees the second it was announced that you had beaten the other team. Finals! We're in the finals! You panted, putting your hand out for Dabi to help you up off the court. Who is it? Which team? You asked. Who are you versing? I don't know. The scoreboard hasn't updated yet, Dabi replied, wiping sweat from his brow. You looked up and waited for the board to update, and finally it announced who you would be versing. Ugh. Dabi grunted when he saw the name pop up on the board. Oh crap, it's him, isn't it? You said in a dead voice when you saw Oikawa's name. But who's that other name? Iwazumi Hajime, Dabi said darkly. I don't know what the rules say about bringing your underclassmen to help win. Underclassmate? You asked. Did they go to school together? Yeah. I think Iwazumi's in his final year now. Did the rules say anything about the age of the players? I can't remember, to be honest, you said sadly. Are these guys good together? Are they good together? Dabi scoffed. Do I fit you like a glove? You hissed with embarrassment and slapped a hand to his mouth, inadvertently slapping him in the face, knocking him back a bit with the force of your hand. Teammates not getting along? Or is this a lover's quarrel? Oikawa's teasing voice asked from behind you. Oh crap, does he know? You spun around to face him, an odd look on your face. Shut up, Shirikawa. Iwazumi sighed from slightly behind him. Save your energy for the game. Sorry about him. He then apologised to you. Oh, but they're such a cute male couple, Oikawa continued. Oh, thank God he thinks I'm a dude. You sighed internally with relief. Well, if you swing that way, maybe turn around when I service ace you so the ball can smack you in the ass like the good bottom bitch you are, Dabi replied calmly to the clearly overconfident Oikawa. Iwazumi had to look the other way to hide the smirk as Oikawa pulled the most horrified expression you'd ever seen anyone pull. Save it for the courts, ladies, you said with a dismissive hand wave. We'll see who tops. Iwazumi smirked and put his hand out for you to shake it. I like the way you think. See you out there, he said, before dragging the protesting Oikawa away. We're screwed. Dabi deadpanned. What? You have no faith in us, you replied indignantly. I have played against him, Dabi said again, and he's good. Annoyingly, frustratingly good. It's unlike you to give such a compliment, you said with surprise, a dreaded feeling rising in the pit of your stomach and settling like a lead ball in your gut. Slowly you moved to the court that you would be versing Oikawa on and waited for the cue to start. Spectators and other competitors gathered around to watch, and an air of excitement hung over the volleyball court, with whispers and comments flying back and forth between the onlookers as you, Dabi, Oikawa and Iwazumi took your places. Naturally, Oikawa was set in the back line, with Iwazumi in front, and as the coin was flipped, both he and Dabi called their choices. Heads, Dabi called out. Tails, Oikawa replied. The coin landed in the umpire's right hand, and he placed it onto the back of his left hand, and then removed his right hand and looked down. Tails, he called, pointing to Oikawa. Well, that's a bit crap then, you thought to yourself as the ball was handed to Oikawa. The way he smirked at you and the way Iwazumi was just casually standing side onto the net had you all kinds of worried. And when Oikawa hit the ball, that's when you understood what Dabi had said. How the heck, you thought as the ball left Oikawa's hand and in the same moment slammed down on the court beside you, almost flattening the whole sphere out before it ricocheted off the ground and flew to the back wall. Slowly you looked back over your shoulder to follow the ball's path with your eyes, suddenly meeting Dabi's defeated eyes in the process. No, we can't give up. Not now. Your distraught scream echoed in your brain. The gym was completely silent as you slowly turned to face Dabi, shaking your head a little and willing him to pick his courage bag back up and place it on his shoulders. You couldn't bear to turn around and look at the opposing team. You already knew what kind of smug look both of them would be wearing on their faces, and it pissed you off even though you hadn't even looked at them yet. Dabi turned and caught the ball that was thrown to him by one of the onlookers, and then he tossed it over the net back to Oikawa. Let's go! You suddenly called loudly, throwing your head in the air and giving Dabi a stern look before turning back to face the opposing team and crouching in readiness again. Oikawa calmly rolled the ball in between his hands. Then when the whistle blew, he threw it up and took a few running steps to gather the momentum that he would later turn into a swing to mash the ball into the ground on the opposing side of the court again. This time, you moved in the right direction, but your body refused to jump in front of that ball for fear that you would break every single bone in your body if you did so. So you missed saving the ball again. Holy frick, that's a fast ball, you thought with horror as the ball careered off course and thwacked into the back wall. Dabi again hadn't even moved, and that despair in your gut gathered the small droplets of despondency and pulled them in to make the feeling even stronger. Dabi, you suddenly snapped at him. Look at me. He did, and you scowled. Balls. Steel balls, you said in the most serious voice you could muster. You weren't really sure if the message you were trying to get across to him actually got across to him, but you felt a slight shift in his energy and his eyes hooded a little and a small smirk pulled at the corner of his lips. Hoping that he understood, you nodded and then reset for the next ball. Oikawa was serving once again and you braced. Up the ball went, and as you figured out his trajectory, you moved, closing your eyes and jumping right into the path of the incoming ball. Through your years of being a libero, your body moved on instinct, and even though you had your eyes closed, you could feel where the ball was going to go, and so tilted your arms to receive it. The next thing you felt was similar to the feeling of being shot in the forearms. A stinging pain suddenly shot through you. Your eyes flew open just in time to see the ball that you had received fly up into the nets that divided the two sides of the court, and then you looked down at your arm. That was definitely going to bruise. The whistle blew and the game ended with you and Dabi on stone motherless 0 and Oikawa and Iwazumi on 3 whole points, almost all ace points. Interestingly though, you felt like you had won. You'd managed to receive Oikawa's ball, so that was a good start, and you stood there with one limp arm as Dabi came up behind you and placed a hand on your shoulder. Yeah, that was definitely a steel balls move, he said softly while squeezing your shoulder. But we lost, you said sadly. We lost at championship level, he added. We beat all these other suckers to get this point. You looked around at the spectators clapping and then smiled back at Dabi. Yeah, I guess you're right, you said with a resigned sigh. Suddenly the announcer took the microphone and called the attention of the crowd. Excuse me, if I may have the attention of the crowd. Firstly, we would like to congratulate Oikawa Toru and Iwazumi Hajime on being the technical winners of today's match. Technical? You asked no one in particular. Unfortunately, the announcer continued, Iwazumi is not an attendant of this college, so cannot accept the first prize or money, and therefore Oikawa will not receive these either. There was a sudden lot of chatter amongst everybody there, and you looked at Dabi and he looked at you. So, if you could please put your hands together for our second place winners. Wait, what? You screeched with excitement, your jaw falling open as your head whipped from side to side, looking at Dabi and then looking at the announcer. Dabi Todoroki and G Spotbanger. You did not put that down as my last name, you deadpanned at Dabi as he fell apart laughing. I'm going to kill you. I will. I'll murder you right now, you asshole. It's the perfect name. He cackled, sidestepping away from you so that you couldn't punch him. So if our two runners-up winners could come to the stands, the announcer beamed with pride as you both walked over. I can't believe it, you said with excitement as you approached him, still trying to half-hit Dabi. By the time you got your medals and checked for the prize money, Oikawa and Iwazumi were nowhere to be seen, and after following the formalities, you and Dabi excused yourselves to go home. You waited until you got into the car before bursting into laughter and ripping your shirt off to take the binder off and then hollering with joy that you had successfully won as you slipped the shirt back on. I don't care that we went against the rules. Girls are just as good as guys. I proved that today, you said proudly as you rolled your sleeve up to check your arm. There was already a bruise starting to form. Hell yeah, we're as good as the boys. Next chapter, chapter 58 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.